Hello and welcome back to the Chasing Poker Greatness YouTube channel. Today we have another play and explain queued up for you, so stay tuned to watch me play 4 tables of 500 NL while I explain my thought process out loud. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them below in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed today's play and explain. Hey everybody, just loading up another session for 500 NL play and explain. Yeah, let's get my tables loaded up and get right into it. Opening pocket 10s on the button. They're called by the fish in the small blind, and also by the unknown in the big blind. Probably a reg though. Gonna start out with a larger than normal c-bet size here. I think I'm just gonna go half pot, try to target all the pocket pairs in the fish's range, plus all, whatever 9x he has. I'm sure he has plenty of 9x. It's a small check raise from the reg. I'm gonna do something a little bit funkier here and just bet 3-bet the flop with my pocket 10s and planning on folding to a jam. I actually prefer this line compared to just like the bluff catch. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna be folding now. But I prefer this line to bluff catching, just calling down and sort of having to wonder about whether they have enough flush draw or gut shot check raises, open-ender check raises on the flop when I'm playing for stacks on the river. I think once the big blind doesn't 3-bet pre-flop, I can be much more confident that the spot is going to be under bluffed. Like, so many of his flush draws are going to 3-bet pre-flop, right? Hands like Jack 10 of spades, Ace Queen of spades, 6-5 of spades, like all those hands would be completely standard pre-flop 3-bets. So I think it's almost impossible for this player to not be under bluffing and just show up with way too much 7x or maybe the occasional pocket 9s, although I think that would squeeze too. So feel really confident in this fold and would feel less confident like had I just bet called the flop and folded somewhere else down the line, or maybe mistakenly called or mistakenly folded somewhere down the line. Again, just think it's really, really hard for that player to be bluffing appropriately or over bluffing on a two-tone board once he doesn't 3-bet pre-flop. Bottom right table, get a limp from a fish, ISO from reg in the cutoff. Definitely gonna be 3-betting Ace King of diamonds out of the big blind. Hopefully we can get the fish in there too. Although limp calling a 3-bet, it's pretty rare, yeah. Mono board, just going to be doing a ton of checking out of position as a pre-flop raiser and just see what he does, what happens on the turn. If we even get to a turn. Wow, he snap checks back. I think people struggle to protect their check back range as it is, but once he snap checks, I'm way more confident. Again, wouldn't be shocked to run into some sort of like weaker queen X here, but I think with 2 overs and a gut shot, I can immediately just start putting pressure on what I perceive to be a very capped snap check. Top left table, gonna 3-bet 6-5 of clubs facing a button open. And pretty reasonably sized 4-bet, so gonna peel this hand. Pair, backdoor flush draw, definitely not folding versus a normal flop c-bet. Expect something in between 20 to 25% pot most of the time. There it comes with 25. Interesting. Gonna start out with check. Trying to think about what I'm gonna do facing another bet. Wouldn't be shocked to see another quarter pot on the turn. I think I'd be like stretching to look for my bluffs on a full Badugi or full rainbow board texture, like what my bluff check jams would be. So I'm leaning towards just continuing with check call and hopefully let him blast ace king and ace 10, that type of stuff on the river. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna check call. Not the best river. Wonder if he still jams aces and kings on this river though, or does he just check them back? Feels like a pretty tough spot for him. Okay, yeah, we don't even have to worry about what to do. Facing jam. Sweet. Immediately get to 3-bet this guy again, this time with a little bit of a better hand than 6-5 suited. This one is going to be going in pre-flop if he decides to 4-bet us one more time. Hopefully he does. I'm going to start out with a small flop c-bet. Could certainly make an argument for having a strategy that checks this type of hand too, but I'm mostly just doing a bunch of range betting. Now checking back, or sorry, not checking back, but now checking the turn. Interesting decision on the river. Check feels pretty natural. Could we block here and just get called by enough like Jack X of diamonds, Jack X of spades? I think all of those types of hands are going to call a small flop c-bet. So I'm actually just going to block. I think this could be a little thin, maybe too thin. I mean, obviously not shocked to run into an ace. Feel a little bit better now, actually, now that he hasn't snapped it off. Yeah, okay, whatever. Not shocked to see like a hand like ace 4, but I think when we check like those sorts of hands bet, I don't, maybe there is just enough value in picking off bluffs from like, I mean, if we think like a hand like queen jack of diamonds is going to call the flop, or queen jack of spades is going to call the flop, he presumably has a whole bunch of them to bluff with on the river. So maybe the block is not as good as just check calling and letting him bluff. King 4 of clubs, bottom right table. I think this hand is good enough to ISO, facing a limp from what I assume is a fish in the cutoff. Flop bottom pair, just going to be checking and assessing what to do based on what he does. Still going to be checking, just trying to get this hand to showdown, probably for as cheaply as possible. Definitely not folding versus half pot. Kind of an interesting river. So gonna just start out with check. And win versus check back. Nice. Bottom left table, either gonna be 3-betting or maybe 4-betting. Okay, 3-betting versus under the gun. Folding ace 3 suited on the top right. Excuse me. 6-3-3, very dry flop. Don't think this has very much interaction with the under the gun opener's range. Actually just going to start out with a small c-bet on the flop, and I think I'm still value betting a hand even as weak as ace king on the flop. I expect him to call with, you know, ace queen of spades, ace queen of clubs, ace queen of hearts, king queen of hearts. Like, I guess he can't have ace queen of hearts, but you know what I mean. The 2 overs plus backdoor flush draw type hands. Gonna check back now and try to pick off a bluff from that type of range. Yeah, I think, especially versus half pot, this is going to be a pretty easy call. Jack isn't my favorite river, but was pretty much planning on calling down on every river. Oh, no. We had the right read on the flop, but couldn't fade the run out. I swing 6-4 of diamonds on the button. Small blind comes along. Big blind comes along. Oh! It's a good time to flop 3 diamonds when 3 players decide to call the open. 2 of these guys are fish. I know 6 and 3 are both fish for sure, so I think I'm just gonna, again, size up multi-way here and try to start getting to stacking. Oh. Opening the cutoff, 6-5 suited. We'll call it 3-bet from the small blind. Oh. Thought he might be thinking about it. Flop bottom pair on what's a very, very dynamic board texture. Gonna just be checking this hand. Gets even more dynamic. Still just gonna be checking this hand. Five liner river. Okay. I mean, would have folded versus a larger size, but not gonna fold facing 2 big blinds. I think. I raise? Opening up pocket 10s on the top left table. Here we got ace, king on the right table. Gonna be 3-betting. And putting it in versus a 4-bet. Uh-oh. Oh, spades. Oh. Pocket 10s on top left table. This is, feels like I've gotten 10s a whole bunch this session. I'll take it though. It's a pretty good hand. Just starting out with a small c-bet on jack deuce deuce. Gonna check back the turn. And we'll definitely value bet the river if he checks to us. Does not check. I think it's a pretty easy bluff catch versus this size. I mean, you just got to call a third on the flop with such a wide range. Yeah, queen 10 of hearts. Not shocked to see that call the flop with 3 straight, 3 flush, and an overcard. Yeah, not much to say. I think he played it fine. I think I played it fine.
If you enjoyed today's Play and Explain, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Helps us out a lot and lets us know what type of content you'd like to see in the future. Thanks again for watching today's P&E.
This is Chasing Poker Greatness. Coach Brad approved. Are you a lone wolf searching for the ultimate pack? The CPG Wolf program is a close-knit brotherhood hell-bent on one thing only: chasing poker greatness. Powered by bleeding-edge wolf strats and led by Coach Brad and his lieutenants, CPG Wolves are systematically prepared for almost any spot they'll encounter on the green felt. If you want to plug into an elite team and have a step-by-step game plan to realize your full poker potential, You can apply at cpgwolves.com. Space is limited, and the pack is only as strong as its weakest member. So only the hungriest, grittiest, and most driven will be accepted into the program. Applications are open at cpgwolves.com.